You've mentioned that agricultural research or commercial-based research is, how can I put it, biased. Do you think farmers are starting to feel sceptical about that too?
Well, if they're not getting any results and they're not making any money, you'd have to start getting sceptical, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have thought. But I don't know, do you think they are, or they're just sort of putting more on?
Some of them can't afford it anymore, so they have to look. And I think it's just getting information out there. I mean, just like doing this, it's just making people aware that there is actually information about why things happen, how they happen, what you're missing. And I just say it's a process of limiting factors. Find the limiting factor. It's not a case about a moron of the same thing. Again, I'm looking for some hairs growing on the palms of my hands. You know, like it's the definition of sanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like this morning, I was just looking at a soil sample, got all these trace elements, everything, and the numbers tell a story. I said, it's bloody hard, isn't it? You go, yeah, how do you know that? Oh, the capacity up there. And this is going on, yeah, okay. And so, and your biggest problem is that you've got a really high aluminium content or soluble aluminium content, which has killed all the biology. So without the information, without that aluminium test, and without those other references, you can't actually go, there's your issue. With them, and it's like I'm reading a story from the soil test about how they're farmers.
Yeah, it must be surprising for them to
hear
that read back to them.
Oh, it is.
And you've hardly spent time on the farm. And
I don't have to now.
Yeah.
Like the tests tell a story. Amazing. I don't often get it wrong. It's like, you got that, and go, how do you know that? And and some to a point where, have you got this growing? Yes.
So why you mentioned you were an oddball at Brookside. Why? What happened?
There was no farmers.
Yeah.
Well, it was just that they have gone to university or trained as soils people and they're not farmers themselves.
Okay.
And here I am as a farmer, you know, like just pulling questions out of left, right and centre.
Yeah.
And basically they said, we just don't have time to do both. And going, well, somehow I found time to do both.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Did that dual perspective help you contribute to the organisation?
I know when I've been there at the conferences that I've had things to say that people have gone, whoa, and they've come and talked to me afterwards and going, what you said there was right on target, but the rest of them weren't ready for it.
Right.
And hence...
Like an insight only a farmer could have if they knew this information.
Yeah. Oh, and the technical side of it, because they're not talking about outside of that protocols.
Right.
I mean, that's the part where you're doing it as a farmer and your experimental block is like if your cows aren't happy or pissed off and you've got all these tests lined up, you go, well, I've got all that right, and yeah, that's a bit low, and we'll supplement them in the meantime, I'll get that sorted. But if that's not working and they're still complaining, there's still something that needs to know about. And this is where I get a great rapport with some of our clients that are similar inclined. They talk to me or ring me up and say, what's going on here? And oh, God, I'm glad you called. I've seen that over at so-and-so. And so you get a reference of 3 or 4 different farms, and then you finally go, bang, there it is. And it can be quite obscure. I mean, things like nickel and, you know, the iodine issues and things like that where people are not looking at that.
Yeah. When you go to these conferences in the US, how global are they? Or do they tend to be sort of Western English-speaking people like ourselves?
The majority of them are US-based. And the odd South African, some New Zealanders turn up every now and then, and sometimes out of Britain as well.
But they're cutting edge, right, Brookside?
Well, they were.
Okay.
I mean, the testing methodology and their whole process is excellent.
Yeah.
But just like all organisations, I think probably a little bit tired based on old information and that sort of stuff. Sure.
I guess where I was going with that is, do you see that the English-speaking world as the best farmers?
No.
So if
I don't see any of them as the best farmers.
Really?
Like what I see is dominated agriculture for someone else's use. Like if I go down the road to Gavin Fisher's place, only 20 k's from here, you know, he's a hell of a good farmer. He doesn't approach it like me in the technical sense, But he's got his feet right in the dirt, and he just loves it. And he's just really, really good farmer, and it shows. I mean, on this Roots So Deep, they were saying about all these buddy birds that were coming back to the farms and everything. And Gavin's putting up on Facebook pictures of his native falcons.
Wow.
Breeding on the farm.
Wow.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.